whole thing started out on verse 13, all right? What I was gearing towards, I'll put it that way. I probably could have still head this direction. But it says, yeah, I think it means as long as I'm in this tabernacle to stir you up by putting you in remembrance. We talked a couple of weeks ago about necessary things, needful things. We talked about salvation, things. There was 4 or 5 points in that message. I forget what they were because I don't pay any attention to my own preaching. All right? So, is it recorded? I'll look it up and see what they were. Okay? One more needful thing, and Peter dwells on it here, is getting stirred up for the Lord Jesus Christ. In these last days, it is harder, it seems anyhow, to get excited just about being saved. I know that sounds maybe bad to say, but sometimes the truth is rough to admit. That we come to church and we expect the preacher to be a cheerleader and get up here and get everybody all excited. To do what? Sometimes nothing happens. And listen, in our line of work, sometimes it becomes a little bit discouraging. And we look around the churches. I was just talking to Brother Teddy the other day on the phone. He called me up and said, "Brother, just praying about you." And he said, "I just thought I'd call and see how you guys are doing." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I know we had a meeting a while back, and I said things, seem like they're doing all right." I said, I really don't know." And he said, "Brother," he said, "it's everywhere. It's everywhere. People are not excited about being saved anymore. They're not excited about God. They're not excited about..." And Peter run across the same thing. So, human nature, nothing's changed. As long as we're in this flesh, we're consumed by this world. Amen? Our mind and our thoughts and our heart are pushed to this world of making money, making a living, doing this, doing that, whatever it is. But when it comes to the things of God, we can't get stirred up about it. We just seem like we're just flatlining, going through a Christian walk. And Peter says, as long as I'm in this tabernacle, I feel a need I can stir you up. Amen. And I feel the same way. But here's the thing. I need stirred up every now and then too. And it's God, you know what? I feed off of you all. So when you guys have no zeal for the Lord, it's not helping me. All right? I got to keep digging and trying to find something to get excited about. See, zeal is contagious. It's very contagious. Few people get on fire for God, other people start getting on fire. People start doing things and getting excited about God. All right? But listen, just the reverse of that is also true. When there is no zeal, when there is no excitement, that also is contagious. And we become complacent. And church just becomes a thing of habit. And where's God at in all this? And Peter says, hey, we need to get stirred up about this stuff because there's going to be generations following if the Lord tarries. And what are they going to get excited about? We talk about, go to Psalms 143. Psalms 143. I want you to look at something here. I'll just say this. It's easy to forget how blessed we are. I'll say that again. It's easy to forget how blessed we are. We just get so tangled up in everything else that we forget that we're a child of God. And anymore in churches, that just doesn't seem to mean anything. It does in heaven. I think God's very excited that we gave our life through Jesus Christ and He saved our soul. But you never know it down here. Amen. We got to get things somehow. All we talk about is, well, I remember when. This never changes. All right? says in Psalms 143:5. What's the first words of it? I remember the days of old. That's David saying this. All right, you know what he's saying? I remember what it used to be like. I remember when God moved. I remember when I saw this. I remember when I saw that. These things never change. We keep talking about the good old days and getting, the old paths and all this stuff. Every generation has the thoughts of the way it used to be, how it used to be, how good it was. You read in history, and you read the Philadelphia Age, and that was a great revival time, all right? But this is what God has had planned, the Laodicean period, the period of the apostasy, the falling away, the training, the high-minded, the disobedience of children, all the things that is talked about in 2 Timothy, all these things are coming true. But listen, that's not supposed to be a deterrent to those that are saved. That's right. That's supposed to be something we ought to get excited about because the Lord's getting closer. Amen. Amen. We are in the latter days. We're in the last times. But here's the verse that they sent me this morning. And he just sent me to one, but there's 2 or 3 here that we need to look at. Psalms 145, verse 4. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works. One generation is to declare to the next one. All right? Now, I don't know if the generation prior to us has dropped the ball some, or the generation prior to them has dropped the ball some. I have no idea how we got to the point where we're at now. But I do know one thing. In my lifetime, I've seen God do some miraculous things. Amen. Who here hasn't? Amen. I've seen him change lives and save souls and do miracles. I've seen him do stuff that nobody can explain. All right? Why are we not telling the next generation of the wondrous works of God? Why are we not stirring these people up? It's almost to the point that they think, well, they've thrown God out of schools, they've thrown God out of this, God's out of the country, God's out of this. Now in the courts they're saying we're not allowed to say in God we trust. Right? It's pretty much over. No, it ain't over with. God's still on the throne. Jesus Christ is still seated at his right hand. Souls are still being saved. But what we have to do is get this generation excited about what God can do. Not what the people are holding him back from doing, but for what God's able to do. God can do whatever he wants to do. Yeah, exactly. He's a sovereign God. Amen. We need to glorify him and tell him. That's what Peter's saying here. He said, look at this. Look at all the things that God has done. The very first verse, he says, like precious faith. Imagine that. Who knew? If it wasn't for Jesus Christ, you'd have no faith. Amen. What would your faith be in? You. Yeah. Or what they're trying to prove now, we need to put our trust in the government. That has never worked. Just read history, all right? Amen. And all I hear from governors, we're going to fix it. They've been saying that for 6,000 years. They ain't fixed it yet, but God can fix something just like that. We have to have faith that God can do what he says he's going to do. But this next generation needs to hear from us that, hey, look, I trusted God and this is what he did. By faith. By faith. Read Hebrews 11. By faith, Noah. By faith, by faith, by faith. These are all the glorious works that have been passed down generation to generation, telling the next generation that, hey, have faith in God. He's able. God has never changed, all right? Faith. Verse 2. The grace of God. Look at this. Grace and peace be what? Multiplied through you through the what? The knowledge of God. How's the next generation going to know anything about God if we don't tell them about it? If we don't get them to Sunday school, if we don't get them to Bible study, if we don't, hey, say they won't come. We'll go to them. If they won't come to us, we got to go to them. Tell everybody you come come in contact with about the grace of God. Tell them, say, hey, you know what? I wouldn't be saved if it wasn't for the grace of God. For by grace are you what? Saved. Amen. Through what? Come on. Faith. Yeah. It wasn't us. It was Him. If we don't tell people and they're excited when we get stirred up about God, people are going to think He is dead. He's some old man with a big gray beard sitting on a throne someplace that looks like Santa Claus. No, He's God Almighty. He's the Spirit. And listen, He created everything. He's all powerful, all knowing. He's every place all one time. And people don't get a grasp on this. They're going to forget who He is, and there's not going to be nothing stirred up. Amen. You say, well, how can you stir up a dead horse? Kick this stupid thing. Amen. Kick it. We need spurs. Amen. That horse don't want to go, and you keep shouting at it, giddy up. There's a way to get it to go. Amen. Spur that thing. Get it moving. Get something excited in that thing. You say, well, I don't know where it's going. But it's going. Amen. It's going to take off. Listen. Look in verse 3 and 4. By verse 4 especially. Great and precious promises out of the Word of God. Well, if nothing else, we need to just be stirred up about the promises of God. Amen. You know what He's promised us? I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. That's right. Never! Never leave nor forsake. I will always be there, a present help in time of trouble. Amen? He hears our prayers. He knows our goings. He knows our uprisings, our downrisings. He knows everything about. His main concern, get this, is us. Our life, our souls, our spirit. Everything that God does is for us. And He's promised us this out of the Word of God. He said, I will not leave you comfortless. I will what? I will come to you. Amen. I will go and prepare a place. And if I go and prepare a place, I what? Will come again and receive you unto myself, to where I am. There again. That's a promise from the Word of God. But there's nothing to get excited about. Hey man, we're just going to heaven, Ted, that's all. Well, that's real nice. Yeah, thank goodness for that. Yeah, that's all. Try not to get excited, okay? Verse 9. But he lacked these things is blind, cannot see far. He has forgotten that he was what? Purged of his old sins. Frank and I was just talking back in the hallway. Every now and then I have, well, I used to call them friends, but now they're enemies of mine because they're coming in and telling my kids what I used to do. They made me purged under the blood, but people still remember them. Amen. And listen, this was nothing bad. It's not drugs and booze and all this. It was drag racing, all right? It was speeding and building cars and burning. And thank goodness none of my kids do any of that stuff, all right? But my sins that nobody here knows about, all right, or ever will, because they're under the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's right. The day I bowed down and got saved, He took care of that account for me. And He wiped them clean. And listen, now I know most of you are holier than I am. You ain't got those skeletons in your closets. Amen. Joe had to add on 5 or 6 times just for closet space. Amen. They have forgotten that their sins were purged. Hey, if nothing else, you need a little bit excited and get stirred up. God's not holding you accountable for that stuff no more. That was putting you in hell. But not anymore. God don't know anything about them. The Lord's taking care of that. He said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they do. When I fell on my face in that coal mine that day, 900 feet underground, I was already a third of a mile, fifth of a mile on the way to hell. literally. And God pulled me up out of that horrible pit and saved my soul and wiped my slate clean. And I've got to remember to never forget that. Never forget that I was purged of those things. Verse 10, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall what? Never fail. Never. They'll never fall. Sorry. Let me ask you a question. Who is holding you up? Who is... It's the faith and the grace of God and God's mercy that's sustaining you right now. Could you imagine if God would pull His grace up from underneath you? Where would you be? Where would you be? Did you get up this morning and thank God for His grace? Well, I did. And that was before this message. Now I got to do it more. And I thanked Him for His grace. He not just saved me by that grace, but He's sustaining me by that grace. Right. If it wasn't for the grace of God, where would we be? We would fall. We'd have no hope whatsoever. But according to Him, if we do these things, we'll what? We'll never fall. Never. That's a promise from the Word of God. You know what that is? That's called a success story. How many of you in here want to be a success? Everybody wants to be a success in this life. Everybody wants to have this. Everybody wants to have... That's what we're striving for. We're killing ourselves to be a success. And God says all you got to do is add to these things here and you're already successful. Where it counts. In God's eyes, successful. You'll never fail. Verse 11. For so an entrance shall be ministered unto you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know what we just said right there? You want to get stirred up about something? You want to get excited about something? I'll tell you what excites me is one of these days I'm going to get to see Him. I'm going to be in His presence. I'm going to get to see the one that died for me. I'm going to get to see the scars on His hands. I'm going to get to see in His eyes my reflection in His eyes. I'm going to get to see the place that He prepared for me. I'm going to get to see loved ones that I had to say goodbye to over here. I'm going to be part of that big reunion in the sky. And if that don't stir you up, odds are you ain't even saved. Amen? Because I got something to look forward to. I say, well, you know, you're getting old, you're going to die pretty soon. Thank God! Amen. I mean, I'm going to revert to my childhood. It won't be long. Amen. I'm almost there. They say, well, you know what? We're all going to die someday. That's going to be one of the greatest days of my life. Besides getting saved, getting to see my Savior. Because that Bible says to be absent from the body is what? Be present with the Lord. I mean, we're talking like that. Get my fingers to snap. Boom! You're there. When His heart quits, God gives you an eternal. And you're in the presence. The greatest picture I've ever seen, I don't know who drew it. I have no idea where it is in my office at home. And I got one down at the station too. There's a picture of Christ with His arms out welcoming His soul home. That's going to be me someday. That's going to be me. Yeah. Oh, God. You know what that means? To me, that means I'm going to lift up my eyes in hell and wonder what happened. That means that my faith will be fulfilled. That means that the promises that God told me He was going to do for me will now be fulfilled. And the best is yet to come. Amen. This struggle and this earth and the devil and everything else is gone. It's over with. I'm just going to ride it out for all eternity with my Lord and my friends and souls that I've seen saved. But we got to tell the next generation about it. They don't know these things. They're holding out hope that somehow, government's going to fix it, or, somehow fix it, or somehow my job's going to take. There is an eternity facing people. Yes. And the next generation needs to hear from us the goodness and the great works from God. I could go on for hours and tell you what I've seen God do. This is a miracle. I saw God do this. Redeemed Baptist Church. Where'd this thing come from? Amen. It came out from the breath of God is where it came from. It had nothing to do with me or you. And God decided to just bless us and give us a good church that still holds fast. Yeah. That can still tell the next generation, here's what God is able to do if you let Him. If you just trust Him. But there's one more. Go back to 1 Peter chapter 1. I don't know what this one involves. But I'm looking forward to it. 1 Peter chapter 1, look at verse 4. To an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, that fades not away, reserved in heaven for you. That's right. Who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. Amen. Now, I don't know what this inheritance curtails, but I know one thing: the government ain't getting 50% of it. Amen. It's all mine! And I don't know what it is, but you know what my inheritance is that I'm looking forward to? Is that crown of life. Because at that point, I know I've made it. Just to me, the inheritance that I'm looking forward to is to be able to give something back to my Savior.
That's right. Come on.
Whatever I got coming, I have no idea. It may not be anything. But I do know one thing. According to 1 Corinthians, there's gold, silver, and there's also wood handstone. And what we're doing right now is building up that inheritance. Whatever it's going to be. But listen, what's important about this inheritance is who gives it to you. It's the judgment seat of Christ. God's Son Himself is going to hand you an inheritance. Undefiled. Amen. Now, just, I want to close on this thought. We owe Him everything. Amen. We owe Him everything. If it wasn't for Him, we wouldn't even be there. And what's He going to do? Thank us for what we've done for Him down here. What a Savior. What a God. Peter says, I feel the need to stir you up a little bit here. Amen. Sometimes it's easy to forget how blessed we really are.
That's right.
Sometimes we need to just, let's just say, humble ourselves. And realize that it wasn't for His grace and His mercy, where would we be? If it wasn't for Calvary and an empty tomb and a loving God, where would we be? We would have no hope. We would have nothing. Death would be the end of it. It just goes blank and that's it. It's over with. That's it. But it's not for one that's saved. If you're here today and you're saved, I pray this stirs somebody up. I pray this helps somebody. Amen. But my last request is please, let's pass this along to the next generation so that it won't fizzle and have nothing to hold on to. They need to hear it from us. They need to hear mouth-to-mouth testimonies of what God's done in your life, what He's done for you, what you've seen Him do for others. And it just might encourage someone to grab hold of that mantle and say, you know what? I don't want what they had. I want a double portion of what